Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? If you can you give me thumbs up? Thank you. Let's take we're just gonna grab one. Take the lowest more. Okay, Captain. Hi, Captain. I want to make sure I can hear you good.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yep, good. I can hear you great. Thank you. We're going to get started in about another 2 minutes. I usually try to give people 5 minutes to get in and get situated. So at a 5 after, we're going to go ahead and get started because we do have a full agenda tonight. Ooh.
But time is running out. Ukrainian leaders in Kyiv say supplies could run out.
One more minute. Sarge coming in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's 5 after. I'm trying to see if I see any of my chaplains on, so someone can open us up in prayer.
Yes.
I hear yes.
Okay. Father, thank you so much for our commander of the 11th Precinct, all of the officers, employees, and the community that includes the 11th Precinct. God, we pray for this meeting. We pray for good success. We pray, Lord, for the insight and the heart to understand the things we need to do to improve our community. We thank you and we ask these choicest blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I see I have my treasurer on, Mr. Leon Wire, and I see I have the arms on, Judith Yalder. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. We're going to get right in. I'm going to turn it over to the captain so he can introduce the commander, and either the commander or the captain will give us a police report if that's okay. So it's all yours, Captain Johnson.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to introduce our commander, Commander Jacqueline Pritchett. She's coming from organized crime, and she spent a lot of time. I worked with her some, and she worked a lot at number 8, and as well, she's from the 11th Precinct. So I really truly hope that you guys welcome her and give her the warm reception like you gave me. Well, that's one of the things that I really, really appreciated when I came over here in October, is just the feeling of welcomeness from everyone. So I appreciate that, and I hope that you extend the same to her.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Is Commander on with us? Was she able to make it tonight?
She's trying.
Oh, she's trying. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
sort out her problem.
Oh, okay.
Also, Madam President, if I may, Deputy Chief Ewing was going to attend today's meeting. So I don't know, I don't see him, but I'd like to acknowledge him as well and see if he wanted to say a couple of words, if he was able to log on.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
I don't know if D-Rob can look in the waiting room, see if maybe he's in there.
He is not entered as of yet.
Thanks, Officer Malone. Commander, Captain, do you want to wait to give us the report until we get the commander on?
Yes, I think she was looking forward to it, so I'm gonna wait, if
Okay,
that's okay.
no, that's fine. So what we're gonna do until she gets on, I'm gonna get right into our guest speakers. So I'm gonna go out of order a little bit, but as soon as she get online, I'll make sure that we get her on. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Kiana Sessoms, who's the manager over at District 3. Thank you, Kiana, for joining us this evening. Unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you for having me this evening. I hope everyone is doing well. We still have light outside, so that's an indicator that spring is coming.
Yes.
So I do have some updates that I would like to share with all of you. And thank you for providing me with this time. So tax foreclosure update as it relates to the most recent lift of the tax foreclosure hold. March 31st is the new foreclosure deadline. If you know someone or yourself are facing tax foreclosure for property taxes from 2019 or prior years, you must get into a payment plan no later than March 14th. Or you will have the option to pay back taxes in full by March 31st, not April 1st. That will be too late. So you must get into a payment plan no later than March 14th or pay back taxes in full by March 31st. We want to make sure that we get this information out to residents and community members that may be facing tax foreclosure. There are some prior steps that must be made prior to them entering into an agreement. There are some supportive services that are out there. The Detroit Tax Relief Fund is a program for Detroiters, where if you're a Detroiter living in your home and struggling with tax debt, there's some relief for you. And so one of the first steps is to apply to be approved for the City of Detroit's HOPE Property Tax Exemption Program. The HOPE application can be found online. You can also call the office of the assessor at 313-244-0274 to receive some additional information. We want to make sure that we can get this information out to those that are needing it to ensure that they do not lose their home. I also want to share this year we will be gearing up for Motor City Makeover. That is led through the Department of Neighborhoods as a beautification effort. It's Motor City Makeover 365 because we would like to see our beautification happen 365 days of the year. But we have a special emphasis of dedicating cleanup, support, as well as beautification in the month of May. This year's date for District 3 is May 21st, which is a Saturday. Will be the third Saturday of the month, where you'll be able to identify your beautification projects, set out your debris properly for it to be picked up at the curb or the space that you identify for the cleanup. Applications will be going out in April. You can sign up in April, but it's never too late to start talking about the planning efforts with your community groups and block clubs to identify what project or location you would like to beautify, where your pickup locations for debris will be, because all of that information has to be received for this to go smoothly. So please start talking about those things and look for some more information in April as we are going to be launching for sign up. Also, if you know any businesses in District 3 that would like to partner with us for beautifying their corridor or wanting to step up to the plate as it relates to beautification for Motor City Makeover, please feel free to contact myself or the district business liaison. We're engaging business owners this year so that they can be a part of the beautification efforts for Motor City Makeover as well. I also want to share tomorrow is going to be the virtual State of the City, being hosted virtually at 6:40 p.m. on Channel 10, AT&T Channel 99, Facebook, YouTube, and the Detroit website as well. Please tune in as the mayor will share updates as it relates to across the city, as well as highlights as they relate to District 3. Lastly, I want to invite everyone who is on this call to attend our District 3 monthly meetings. We meet every fourth Tuesday of the month at 5 p.m. This month, on March 22nd, we will be discussing the American Rescue Plan, providing updates as it relates to the plan, what's coming out of the plan, and you'll be able to ask some questions as well. If you're not receiving city updates, and this is new news to you as it relates to some of the things that I may have shared, please text the following number, 468-311. Again, please text 468-311. In the text body, put District 3, and then you will be able to receive current updates as it relates to the meetings that I shared with you just now, as well as future meetings and information for you to stay connected to what's going on in your district as well as the city. That's all of the updates that I have right now. I'm going to share my personal information if you would like to reach my office. You can reach me at 313-348-8464. Again, 313-348-8464. I received text message as well. Or you can email me at sesums@detroitmi.gov. I'll spell that for you because I know some of you are like, what? Sesums, S as in Sam, E-S-S-O, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, the letter K, at detroitmi.gov. Look forward to connecting with you all. If you have any, complaints or things that you would like to issue for me as it relates to blight or other concerns, you can feel free to reach out to me, or I can take some now. Ms. Kim, I'll let you direct how you want to handle that.
I'm sorry, say that again, Kiana, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, do you want me to take any complaints at this time, or do you want them to contact my office?
How
Just
about,
for the sake of time, I know.
you're gonna, because I know you have to leave, so how about we have them contact your office, or even if they send something to me, Kiana, I'll make sure, is that okay too?
Of course, definitely. And I'm going to put my information in the chat for those of you that may not have been able to hear it or gather it. So it is going to be in the chat box as well. So you can feel free to contact my office.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well.
You see, Captain has his hand up. Hi, Captain.
Madam President, just before Kiana leaves, just everybody should know what a great help she is. She is directly intervening and assisting us into so that we can board up some of these abandoned houses in our area. And so I just wanted everybody to know that that's something that I've been kind of working on with our NPOs as well, but she's helping us at the top end of city government. So I just want everybody to know that, and thank you very much, Kiana, for helping us with that. I appreciate you, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Thank you for taking that initiative and allowing for me to work with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate all of you as well.
Okay, Captain, I see that Commander Pritchett is with us. So you want to take it over again and introduce her, or let's let her get going? One or the other, I don't care.
I already introduced her as I said, she worked at organized crime. We worked together at the 8th Precinct, and she's from number 11. She's already told me she's a dope girl, so I gotta watch. I gotta be on my best behavior.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, Captain Johnson. Like Captain Johnson said, I was reassigned here on January 24th from organized crime. And like he said, I went to Nolan, Marshall, and Persian. So I am a dope girl for life. My father lives in the precinct, so does my brother. I have several relatives, so I am vested in the 11th Precinct, always has been. I started here almost 27 years ago, and I'm back home. So I'm committed to making number 11 as safe as it possibly can be for every resident that actually lives in the precinct and the ones that want to visit the precinct. So what I want to go over is, I don't know how the prior commander did the meetings, but I want to go over the year-to-date crime stats. I know we haven't had a meeting since 2021. So if you guys will bear with me, our stats are not, our crime is trending in the right direction. Last year we had the 11th Precinct, I should say, had an uptick in violent crime. So we're currently trying to curb that crime that was here last year, and so far we are trending in the right direction. So as far as homicides, currently as of today's date, we're up 2 homicides from last year. We have 5. This time last year we had 3. For aggravated assaults, we're down 18% from 138 to 113 year to date. Our non-fatal shootings, we're up 38%. We had 8 this time last year, and currently we have 11. So the sexual assaults, we're down 33% in sexual assaults. Our robberies are up a little bit. We had a robbery spree going on in 11-5's area, where this young man would entice women on the dating app Tinder, and they would respond to him for a date, and he would rob them. So our detectives worked tirelessly watching video from Green Light and video from the complex to get this guy identified. They even went to some pawn shops and found some property that he had taken doing his robberies. So that those robberies in that 11-5's area definitely caused an uptick in robberies. So he has been arrested. He has been charged with numerous counts of robbery, as well as one case he assaulted a female before he robbed her. So I'm certain that these robberies will continue to trend in the right direction, and our carjackings are up 3 from last year. We had 6 currently, and last year we had 3. I talked to the detective from carjacking on Friday. He said out of those 6 warrants, 3 of those cases are suspect, and they're in the process now of filing 2 false felony reports that were filed that never occurred. One of them was an accident. One of them was a drug deal that he paid the car, and he told his family he was carjacked and the car was missing. And the other one, they're trying to determine if a crime actually occurred. So if those are backed off, then we are at 0. We 3 from last year and 3 from this year. So that's it's always a good sign to file those false felony reports if the carjackings never occurred. So that's our violent crime. So our property crimes, our burglaries are up 19% from this time last year. The officers made a great arrest today. Persian High School, my alma mater, had been broken into 9 times. And so they actually caught the guy this morning. The warrants are going down tomorrow for the 9 B&Es of Persian High School. So at least he'll be off the street. So our larcenies, up 12%, and our vehicle thefts are up 29%. I talked to the gentleman from commercial auto theft, and he said number 11, we have not so many cars being stolen, but car parts, the catalytic converters and things of that nature are being taken here in 11th Precinct. And they are currently have an ongoing investigation. I really can't disclose where at, to possibly find a chop shop that's receiving this property. So he said they are definitely engaged in number 11 and trying to find out if there are any chop shops where they are. and those that are involved in taking these car parts and getting these cars and cars being taken for their parts. So I'm convinced with the cooperation between us and commercial auto thefts that these auto thefts are going to continue to go trend in the right direction. So does anyone have any questions for me as relates to our crime stats for year to date, or any other thing you would like to ask me?
See any
Hi,
hand?
Miss Kim. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Birch.
Yes, hello, and welcome again to our new commander, Pritchett. It's so very nice to see you in person. And just want to say kudos to Captain Johnson, who's been very instrumental since he's been with number 11. And I want to say to you, ma'am, welcome back home.
Thank you so much.
If you came from number 11, you should be accustomed to how we love on each other, how we've always taken care of one another and work with our police department. We've always done that in number 11. And so I want to just say one thing to you when you mentioned about the shops. They are rampant in our area. So I know Sergeant Spruce can share that with you. Many complaints that we put out to where they are. Naturally, we're not going to say that, but they have reports, Commander. And so, well, again, welcome. I don't want to take up too much time, but welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. And Captain Johnson is definitely, we're a team. We both are committed to doing what we can to keep the residents of District 3 safe as possible, especially those that reside in the 11th Precinct. He is a great partner. We both have the same passion for this job, the same passion for keeping the citizens safe in this precinct. Captain Johnson sometimes never goes home. I'm always telling him to go home. So he is definitely dedicated to the mission as well as I am. And thank you again, Ms. Birch, for the compliment.
Yes, ma'am.
I see our state rep, Cherie Tanadar. I see you have your hand up. Welcome and good evening, sir.
Good evening to everybody. Thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Commander, for all the work you and your team is doing to keep us safe.
Thank you.
I had a quick question for you.
Okay.
At the state level, we are working on giving additional funds for hiring and incentives to hire first responders, in helping with the pension systems and benefits. My question to you is, do you have many vacancies for police officers? Are you able to retain officers? And just in general, can you talk about recruiting and retention?
Well, as it relates to number 11, I only been here since January 24th. We received 4 additional police officers on Friday. They went from the academy. They were assigned to 11th Precinct. So I don't know offhand the actual stats, what I want to say, the ratio of police officers that are currently spots filled and how many spots are open. That's something HR will have to answer that question for you, because I don't want to say anything that's not true. So HR with Ms. Patillo will be able to give you a better answer as to how many officers are leaving per month, if that's the case, and how many are we retaining and what we're doing to retain those officers. That will have to come from their department.
All right, just don't want to take much time, but just want to say help is on the way. We are working on a $350 million bill to help the state police and local police to be able to be fully staffed. So
awesome, thank you, appreciate it. We need the help.
Yes.
Okay, I see Mr. Kenneth Davis. How you doing this evening? I see your hand is up.
Fine, how you doing?
Good.
Kenneth Davis, president of CRC Radio Patrol. And I would like to know, as relate to the CompStat, the area that we patrol is from 8 Mile to 7 Mile, and from Van Dyke to Orion to Norwood. How is the crime? Or can I get a copy of the crime stat report for that area?
I don't have it handy, Mr. Davis, but I can definitely get it to Sergeant Spruce. He can get it to you for that particular area so you can know what's going on. It's where you need to put your radio patrols at in certain times and dates and everything. I definitely would get that to Sergeant Spruce and he can get it to you.
Okay, thanks.
You're quite welcome, sir.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Pastor Yvette Griffin, I see your hand is up. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, Shirley Birch. Good evening, Captain Johnson, and to our new commander. I am Pastor Yvette Griffin. I pastor Pilgrim Baptist Church right there, right off of Ryan Road, in between the fire station and the barber shop.
Okay.
Yes, it's good to know that you are home.
Yes.
That's wonderful because we need somebody that's home. And I want to hope to meet you in person.
Okay.
I'm sure the clergy will be contacting you. So that's wonderful. Also, we have a food program every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I want to thank our NPO who's always there. We have an NPO there every week, and we thank you directing the traffic because we have traffic, cars lined up down Ryan Road.
Awesome.
Trying to get food. So I thank you. Now, you mentioned that we had an increase in burglaries and that Pershing had been broken into 9 times. And hopefully we can, if you need any letters written to the judges, we'll be happy to do that as well.
Okay, I'll talk to the officer in charge of the case and Lieutenant Fagenzi, who is lieutenant over our detective unit. And I will talk to, normally when there are high profile cases, he ensures that someone is at the arraignment to let the judge know that this person maybe has a violent history, or in this case, is being accused of breaking into the school 9 times, and that will be told to the judge to request a higher bond.
Okay, so what about the rest of the burglaries? Because I'm sure he's hitting Persian, but who's hitting, the houses and the churches?
There's sporadic, I'm sorry, ma'am, there's sporadic throughout the precinct. It's not like one specific area. It's just that there was 9 burglaries committed by the same person, which rose to our attention. The burglary unit is, we're out there doing patrol. Like I said, it's sporadic. It's not like one particular area is being hit the hardest. A lot of times we have the burglaries of these vacant houses, and these people go in there and to get out the inclement weather. They're breaking into garages, taking property to sell for narcotics and things of that such. But right now, there's no specific area that has a higher influx of burglaries than any place else. It's throughout the precinct. And what we're trying to do here at number 11 is pinpoint by using our crime mapping to see just where the crimes occur, what dates, times of the day, and the days of the week, and we can put extra patrol in those particular areas to try to catch these people in the act. It's hard when you leave home at 8 o'clock in the morning, you come back home at 5 o'clock and your home was broken into. No one called the police, so it's hard to pinpoint when that home was actually broken into. All we know is that when you arrived home. So it gives the burglar an 8-hour window as far as being caught. So that's always been kind of hard to pinpoint when the burglary actually occurred, because you report them when you find that it happened. But there's something that we use now called crime mapping, and we actually can map where the burglaries occur, the most profound times, to try to put patrol over in those areas and get some plainclothes officers in those areas to try to catch them in the act.
Do we have any questions for our new commander? All right, I say no news is good news. Commander, I'm so happy that you're at our meeting, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And no problem at all. I am vested into number 11 and do what I can do to make it number 11 for the crime to continue to go down. The trend in the right direction. Like I said, my father lives in the precinct. You know, my brother lives in the precinct in the house I grew up and raised in. My brother still is in that house. So I am committed to this. And when I wasn't at the 11th precinct, I still had a contact with those that were in charge of number 11 to make sure that everything was good on my parents, my father's end and my brother's end. So I've always cared about this precinct, and now I'm here in charge of it, which makes it special for me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's awesome, and thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right here.
About to become even more dire.
With supplies being.
Okay, can we make sure everybody's on mute, because we hear a lot of background noise? Please make sure you're on mute. We're gonna go ahead, State Rep Cherie Tanadar. I know you wanted to be on the agenda tonight as well. So again, welcome and thank you. And any updates you'd like to provide us, can you please do so?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We are, this is Women's History Month, and Michigan has some great women leaders, including our governor, our Secretary of State, and Attorney General, and many more. So this is a very proud moment. I want to wish everybody, all the women, happy Women's History Month. Today is actually International Women's Day. We have some special bills we are working on, protecting women's rights. We all just passed a bill that will eliminate all of the taxes on feminine hygiene products. My own bill I just introduced that will provide feminine hygiene products to female returning citizens. So we are working on a number of issues in connection with the Black History Month. I'm so proud that State Rep Cynthia A. Johnson and I introduced a couple of bills for reparations, and we are proposing a $1.5 billion fund for reparations to correct the past mistakes, and for the state and federal government to accept the past mistakes. So that's what our bill is, and we're very proud to introduce that in the House. We also introduced a 33 package bills to protect labor rights, a number of labor issues about discrimination at workplace safety issues. So that's really what we are working on. We have the biggest education budget in the history of Michigan without raising any taxes. So we will, Detroit Public Schools would get about $1.2 billion as part of this budget. And we also have some excess funds in the catastrophic fund, the auto insurance. So everyone who had auto insurance in that period will receive a check for $400. That check should come in within 60 days to all of you. And I'm trying to get more because they still have a lot more money that they're holding, the MCCA, and I'm asking them to release that money with a second check. So that's what I'm working on. I'm also running for the open seat, the 13th district congressional seat. So I don't want to take any more time, but I want to thank you, Madam President, for letting me speak.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. We always appreciate any updates you can provide us coming from Lansing. So you're always welcome to come and join and keep us up to date.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. I just saw DC Ewing join. Hello, and how are you this evening?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
I am wonderful. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I just want to stop in and say hello and let you know I have not forgotten about you all. I'm happy to be on the east side as the deputy chief, and I look forward to working with all of you as we go forward in 2022.
All right, you on speed dial. I just want you to know that.
I've always been that way.
I thank you so much. That's awesome news to hear you back over here with us. So that's great.
All right.
Thank you. I also see Chief Judge McConico. Hello, sir, and how are you this evening?
I am great, Madam President. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us. And it's, I've been waiting for us to get back in the swing of things. So this is the first meeting of the year, and obviously, I'm happy that the first meeting of the year is, you know, coming back home to the 11th Precinct. So I am here. Mr. Martin, our community relations specialist, is here. And if I may, Madam President, I have a quick report on behalf of the court.
Yes, please.
We are implementing first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's great to see everyone. Hopefully very soon we'll be in the room kind of sweating together, because, you know, ventilation's always kind of tough in the room, and we have all packed in the room. We can get together in person. You know, I'm happy to do it via Zoom, but I'm ready for us to get back in person. But with that being said, we start with our COVID protocols at the court. Even though the numbers in the city of Detroit are so much better than the last time we were meeting, I am still keeping a mask mandate at our court. The county has taken off a requirement for a mask mandate, but I still have I have the control of the court, and I set our protocols, and so our employees and the public will still wear masks. We are still practicing social distancing practices at the court. We still have some employees who can work from home, working from home, to make sure we reduce the amount of people in the court. However, there is no restriction on the public whatsoever. All filings, paying of fees, needing of information, everyone is, the court is back open. Jury trials are back on. Judges are now allowed to schedule jury trials. We are making a schedule so that we don't want to have multiple jury trials going on at the same day, because we have to spread people out so much. But now there will be jury trials happening in all divisions. The next thing is, because of once the moratorium was lifted on the landlord-tenant docket, there was an increase in filings for evictions for either non-payment of rent cases or termination of tenancy cases. And to make sure there's not a backlog, I am moving a judge from the traffic docket over to the landlord-tenant docket. So there'll be 5 judges now to handle landlord-tenant matters. And as to landlord-tenant matters, one thing that's becoming very concerning, and this is something that, you know, I actually plan to reach out to the captain, and I see we have a new commander. There's been an increase of illegal evictions taking place, where landlords are not going through the court, not going and having a court officer execute, or Wayne County Sheriff execute the eviction. They're getting family members, they're doing it themselves, and it is causing chaos. I am very concerned that someone is going to be injured and possibly killed with that, because if someone just comes in someone's house without a court order, without, you know, the authority as a court officer to do the eviction, that someone may defend themselves or defend their home. And this is something, we are meeting with the Detroit Police Department. We are meeting with also our Wayne County Sheriff, just to see how we can come up with, you know, trying to go over where this is happening and what areas more. From what I've seen so far, the 11th Precinct is not a high area for these illegal evictions, but just want to put you guys on alert that there may be a notice to come to a meeting. But I'm sharing the data that we have with the department, because it's getting a little scary out there with illegal evictions. And so that's another reason why I've moved the judge to make sure we have some controls over that. Little crime stat, as you know, I started a gun docket to deal with our CCW cases that were up so high. Since the end of fall of last year, there has been a decrease in the amount of gun arrests that are happening. Every time I talk to people, I want to thank our new chief. He has changed some of the policies that are going on. And so if there is one gun in a car, 4 people aren't arrested and charged for CCW when the gun is clearly one person, maybe registered to that person. And so there have been some policing strategies that have helped. We're still taking the guns off the street. We're still having the cases flow through, but there isn't a clog and there isn't multiple people being charged with felonies when it should go to one person. So I just wanted to let you know that that trend of the decrease in gun cases that is continuing. As to continuing with our community outreach, Madam President, I'm going to still come to the meetings. Obviously, Mr. Martin will be here, but starting next month, I'm going to bring a judge with me that will have a report from a specific department, whether it is a traffic judge, whether it's a judge from the landlord-tenant division, the civil division, the criminal division. I'll still talk, overall what's happening at the court of certain policies, but I'm going to have someone that's an expert in a certain division and to bring information. And also just the citizens need to know more of the judges also. I want to make sure I'm getting the judges out of the building and jumping in these Zoom rooms. So I'm going to have some people coming with me. And last but not least, I just want to let you guys know that I started a program when I became the chief in 2020. 36th District Court did not celebrate Black History Month, didn't do anything for it. I never understood why we didn't, but I instituted a Black History Month program where part of my background, I have a degree in history and I'm a college professor besides being a judge. And so each day I write a slide of a different person to celebrate their accomplishment in African-American history. And so we did that again last February. And we also, on certain days, we did a movement like the Harlem Renaissance to detail it and go through what it was. And every Friday, I left that for the arts because African-Americans have contributed so much in the arts. And last person we did for Friday was a person from our community. I did Jay Dilla, a person in Stratacone Gardens that had artists all over the world come and record right here in our neighborhood. And it's one of the greatest producers ever. His life, he had health issues and he died at a young age, but wanted to make sure we spotlighted our community to the court. And the slides that we did, they were sent to students at Wayne County Community College. And we also, some business owners and businesses heard about that we were doing this. And so they were getting the slides and sharing them with their employees. So want to make sure that we celebrate our history and make sure that, we have a proud history, very diverse history. And so that was a program that I instituted and we've continued it this past February. So with that, Madam President, I'm done with my report and I'm here to take any questions if there are any.
Well, that's great. Thank you for the information. You gave some great information. And thank you for, and I like that idea of bringing in different judges from different divisions. That is so awesome to give us updates. So I really appreciate that as well. So thank you for that.
No problem.
We got a couple of questions. I see Pastor Griffin has one.
Good evening again. Thank you, Judge, for bringing us that information. Could you please name the 5 judges that you have for the
landlord tenant? For
yes,
landlord
tenants, yes.
And Pastor, before I'm going to answer your question, obviously, I see that Judge Sean Perkins has joined us also. Sean Perkins, again, I've introduced before, is one of our, actually, Sean is our newest judge still. And at our court, he has joined us. But we have 4 current judges on the landlord tenant division. The presiding judge is Alicia Jones Coleman. We have Judge Ruth Garrett. We have Judge Demetria Brew, and we have Judge Jacqueline McClinton. And Judge Michael Wagner will be joining as the 5th judge. He will be joining within the next couple of weeks. We're winding down his traffic docket, and he's coming to join join the landlord tenant division.
Thank you. And can you also tell us what area are you having the problems with the illegal evictions?
Well, there are some specific areas on the west side, some areas downtown, but we're still compiling that, and that's why I was saying that Captain Johnson will probably be getting a report from us pretty soon. We're crunching the numbers right now. But from what I have seen and from the complaints, the 11th precinct is not a high priority. It's not a high priority area at this point. But I'm gonna share. I don't want to prejudge the data, but where we are right now and going through the complaints with our court officers, as well as just going through the documents of the cases, the 11th precinct is not coming up. Not coming up very often, but just overall in the city of Detroit, it is rampant right now compared to what it was just 2 years ago.
Okay. Do you have a phone number that I can contact you? Because I need
Yes,
to
ma'am.
talk to you about some things.
Okay. I'm going to defer to Mr. Martin to put that in the chat so I can keep answering because
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor Griffin.
Thank you.
Yep, I see, Dr. Dudley, you had your hand up?
I did. I am Judge McConaughey. One, thank you for being here. And I just wanted to know, are those slides still available that you did for the Black History Month?
Absolutely. I have them for the last 3 years, actually. But yes, we can, if you submit your email in the chat, I can have Mr. Martin, we can email them to you tomorrow.
And then can we be on the mailing list for next year?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. One of the funniest things about the slides, I have a judge that her husband is an executive with Microsoft, and if she doesn't send, and he sends the slides out to all of the employees that are working virtually at Microsoft here in Michigan, and if she doesn't get him that slide by 10 a.m. every morning, she gets a text from him like, "Where's my Black History Month slide? My people are asking for it." So, if I do say so, they're pretty good actually. So, but we'll get those to you tomorrow.
I'll make sure you get my email too, because I would like to get those as well. I really would like.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions for Chief Judge McConaughey?
I have one. My hand is up.
Okay, I'm sorry, there's a page 2, I can't see it. Okay, I'm sorry, there's a page 2, we're gonna scoot over. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
That's okay.
I
Okay,
didn't see page 2 either. Okay.
Hi, Judge. How are you? This is Beverlyn Hilton. And
How are you?
I think it's fantastic. One of my pet peeves, and I've always talked to anyone running for judge, come back to the community. And of course, once they get elected, it usually doesn't happen. So I think that's fantastic that you're bringing them to us so that not only do we learn what they're doing, they will know who we are and the importance of the community. So, but my question initially was, and I don't know if Mr. Martin had an opportunity to speak with you or not, but the Wayne County Treasurer every Wednesday for this month addressing foreclosure issues has a Ask the Treasurer, and we get a lot of probate questions, and I don't know if that's within your court or not, but we certainly would like to have a representative, if you could identify someone or direct us to that particular court so that we can get someone on our call.
Yeah,
that's my question.
probate is through the Wayne County Circuit Court. There's a special division of the Wayne County Circuit Court, Third Circuit. But Freddie Burton is the chief judge of the Freddie Burton is the chief judge of the Wayne County Probate Court, and you can, Freddie is very accessible. So that's who you need to reach out to for that.
All right, thank you.
But if you want someone to come from our court, just in case there's a landlord-tenant issue, but Freddie Burton is the one.
Well, we do have a lot of those. Those come up as well.
Okay.
Especially from landlords. So.
Yes.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Chief Judge McConaughey this evening? Going once? I know he's a busy man. Going twice?
I got my finger on the button right now, Madam President. I'm about to jump out. I'm jumping out the Zoom room. But in all jokes aside, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing the court to present information. We've always said since we got here that this is your court. This is the people's court. So we want to make sure we're accessible. I'm going to leave you in good hands with Mr. Martin. Judge Perkins is going to stay around, and I am now going to have a little dinner. So you guys take care.
Thank you so much, and have a good night, and we'll talk to you again.
Yes, indeed. Take care, guys.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, I see Terry Catching. I see you're on the line, and I see also Councilman Scott Benson. So let's start. I'm sorry, since I see Scott Benson, I'll take him, Terry, not to kick you to the curb, but we're gonna go to Councilman.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President, and good evening, everybody. That is a tough act to follow, coming on directly after the judge. And I got a chance to see the judge this week, last week, and he'll be coming before us over at City Council very soon as well to discuss the budget for the 36th District Court. Today, I just really want to highlight the fact that today was an honor that we had the opportunity to vote 9-0 to support a retention bonus for DPD this morning at City Council. And so we were able to give 2,399 police officers a $2,000 retention bonus, as well as, I believe, 43 officer assistants $1,000 bonuses as well. And this is just a way to show with our pockets that we're serious about keeping our police officers here in the city of Detroit. I'm not sure if anybody's seen the news story yet, and you've probably heard many times, and I'm sure that my NPOs and the captain and the commander, they know that it is tough to keep our police officers in the city of Detroit. Number one, police officers are poached coming right out of the academy because we provide free training for officers, whereas other police departments, people have to pay. And the city of Detroit does a great job, and we have so many different opportunities and so many different experiences here that you can't get at other locations. So people come to Detroit to look for our officers. And so we said we're not as competitive as a salary side. So we said, you know what, let's actually put our money where our mouth is and provide bonuses. And so today we voted that up. Hopefully you all will see those in the next 30 days. This is a retention bonus as a way just to show that we support. And as the city does better financially, we want to make sure that our officers and employees do better as well. And so this is also part of the city ensure that every employee will make at least $15 an hour. We also want to make sure that our men and women who run towards gunfire, run into buildings that are on fire, are compensated, and we show them that we respect and appreciate their work, and we want to keep them here in the city of Detroit for their entire careers. Also, we are in budget season. So many of you attended some of our community budgeting priority conferences that we had earlier this year. And now is the time we're actually putting those together. And the mayor has presented his budget. And this week, council gets an opportunity just to review the budget before we start our budget hearings with each department next week. And so you'll be seeing the budget come out formalized in April as per state law. And so you'll be seeing those very shortly. So if you have any questions, please call my office. You can see all the budget hearings online or via Zoom, or if you'd like to, you can come down to City Hall as well, down to KMAC, and just see the budget process and how we prioritize and spend the money of the city of Detroit. These are your tax dollars. So please come see what we're doing, have a say, give feedback. In addition, I just want to acknowledge my new colleague, Councilwoman at Large, Mary Waters, in my office, hosted a HOPE property tax clinic. And just want to thank Beverly Lynn, who is here as well today, and the treasurer, Eric Sabri, for their support and help keeping people in their homes. As many of you know, I don't want to steal Beverly Lynn's thunder. There is a foreclosure crisis that has hit the city of Detroit, and there are many, many tools that we have to keep you in your homes. And we went door to door last week. We're going door to door this week and next week and the following week as well to educate people and let them know that they can stay in their home. The treasurer's office is working hard. They don't want your home. They want you to stay in the home. And there are many different tools that are available. And so we had a clinic, Hope Clinic, last Friday. We had about 100 people come out. We went door to door to make sure that we were giving the information, and we worked with Councilwoman Waters' office to get that done. And it was just a great turnout. Many people say they haven't heard, they were unaware. And so it's really important that we get out there and let people know about these tools that the city of Detroit has to keep you in your home. And so hopefully everybody will take advantage of that. And all you have to do is fill the paperwork out, and the county treasurer will do the rest. But you have to ask for help. If you don't come and fill out the information, it'll really be yourself to blame. You have to ask for help. And so there's really have to be working in the treasurer's office and my colleagues to make sure that we're working to keep everybody in their home. And so that's my report. I don't want to be too long this evening. Are there any questions, Madam President?
I have one. Now, here's my question. We're going to go back to these officers.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that retention bonus you give them, because they need that and then some. Okay,
Yes,
let's
they do.
start there. But however, and I know it's been brought up several times, is how come there's not, when these officers go through the training and they're being approached, how come there's not saying that they have to be on the job, 2 years, 5 years? Why isn't there some kind of stipulation there? How can they just get all this free training and then just bust up whenever they feel like it? Why isn't there some restrictions there?
So legally, we can't do that. And so we're working on that right now. That's been an issue for a long time. This is not new. So we are working on that. I understand that there is a effort in Lansing to change the law to allow for those type of stipulations and compensation for a city if they do that. So we're working on that right now. So this is not new to us, and we see the problem. We also know there's also a financial incentive as well, and issue. I mean, if you're able to leave training and then go make more money someplace else, for some people, that's really the motivating factor. For others, it's really just the desire to work in the city of Detroit in a very dynamic city and police department. So we're working to make sure both happen and that we have the most professional and best law enforcement opportunities on the planet. That's right here in the city of Detroit.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I know it's been out there for a minute, but then I, kind of fell off the wagon, and, here we go again. So I'm just kind of curious to, where are we with this, or is there any progress being made?
And actually, I talked to the city's government affairs person who had just come back from Lansing, and she indicated they were having these conversations, and they're hopefully going to be able to take this up sometime this year. Right now, there are other priorities at the state level, but we're hoping to take this up this year.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there
And
any?
then one question, Madam President, did you get a chance to brief on our code enforcement initiatives that we've been working on?
I did not, but since you brought it up, you can go ahead and go for it. I had it on my list to do, but you go ahead.
No, Madam President, I don't want to steal your thunder. I do not want to steal. So since it was your idea, I don't want to steal your thunder.
Well, I appreciate it. So it was on my list to talk about.
Okay.
I do have but you know what? I'm glad you're here because you can give me a better update. I have the addresses, and I want to say that we took care of these, but don't quote me on the 5 that we have so far. Mm-hmm. So when I bring them up, you check me when I need to be checked and say, yeah, you on the map, or no, you done fell off. So
okay.
So keep me straight.
So, and one last item, if there are no other questions, and I see our state rep, Mr. Thanadar, here today. And so I am a trustee at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. And we at the city are initiating and advocating. There was a bill in Lansing now, Senate Bill 652, I believe it is, which is which will give the authority to go to the ballot in Wayne County for the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, as well as the Detroit Historic Society, which is our historic museum, and ask for a millage to help support both those institutions from Wayne County property taxes. And we're hoping to get the support of the state Senate and take that over to the House. Right now, it's in the Senate. Senator Bullock is shepherding that process, and we're hoping to get something done and hopefully signed by the governor by the end of this month so we can get it over to Wayne County Commission Chair Alicia Bell so that she can work the process and get it authorized by her colleagues to place on the ballot for August of this year. And this would provide a but a sustainable revenue stream for both institutions and allow for stability. Right now, both institutions work closely with the city of Detroit. We provide general funds. hoping to be able to move them to a more sustainable funding source and prepare an endowment to allow them to be able to strategize and plan better for the future and long-term sustainability of both those institutions. So you should be seeing something about that soon. But right now, that is in Lansing, that is in the Senate being negotiated. So we're hoping that the Senate leader, Senator Shirkey, will allow that to come up for a vote so we can get that over to the House and finalize, and hoping to get support from our state rep, Mr. Danadar, once it gets to the House, so they can get over to the governor's office or desk for a signature. And that's it for my presentation, Madam President.
Question.
Hold on one second. State rep was speaking. Hold on one second for us.
So, Councilman Benson, thank you. And I am on top of it. You have my 100% support on that. Count on me to do that. And by the way, those retention bonuses, was that part of the $350 million bill that we passed recently in the House?
No, that was not. That was part of ARPA funds and some out of the general fund. Those are the federal ARPA dollars. Yes, sir.
So there'll be more money coming.
Oh, great. We need that money. Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
One last question on the reparations proposal that got passed last November. My concern is about making sure that the Reparation Commission has some budget so that the members can be paid. They will have access to legal services, any experts that they can hire. That way they can do productive work on the reparation issue. Could you update us on that?
Right now, we are working, and that is Member Sheffield, President Sheffield is leading that charge. She was the one that shepherded that through the election process. And so I believe the first meeting will be in April. Okay. And so I've identified a person who's interested in representing, being a representative on that commission once it's established. But right now, that is still in the works.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Kim, Ms. Kim.
Okay, yes, yes, Ms. Birch.
Yes, you can go. Okay, I thank you so much. I just want to piggyback on what you said so I can reiterate to Councilman Benson about the police. Why is it, and I want to ask him that question, why is it that the suburbs have officers that get the benefits and everything higher paid than we do in Detroit? And through research, Kim, we found out that the population of a city depends on how many officers they get. So if the city of Detroit is only populated by, say, under 700,000 people, we're not going to receive any support from the governor. So I'm with Mayor Duggan that he is trying to populate our city so we can receive more officers. But we worked on that problem with being a police commissioner forever, Ms. Kim. So I'm with you. If you want to work on that project, we can get more funds to the police. Ms. Kim and to the councilman.
So, Ms. Burke, was that a question or a statement?
It's a statement. I want to ask you, do you know, one thing I want to ask you, do you not feel that the suburbs have protection because their officers are paid more? Why do you think that is? Besides what I said.
Why do I think the suburbs have higher paid officers?
Yes.
Typically, well, for us, the salary of the officers is a direct result of our ability to pay and our general fund budget. It's not about support from the state, although state's revenue sharing is fantastic, as well as now internet gaming revenue, as well as any other state revenues that come down. But it's really about the general fund's ability to pay. And as many people remember, Detroit went through a very painful bankruptcy. And to make sure we don't go through something of that nature again, we are very prescriptive and disciplined in our spending, which also relates to how much we pay people. But as the city does better, we will ensure that our officers, our firemen, our firewomen, our election workers, our civilian employees, our DPW workers all do better as well. And this is just part of working ourselves into a better place. And that means when new development comes into the city, that helps grow our general fund. When we see new residents move in, that helps grow our general fund. And so those are the ways that we're going to be able to increase the pay of our police officers. It's not about what the suburbs can do, but they have larger general fund budgets and they prioritize their dollars differently. They don't have the same challenges. They don't have the same level of poverty that we have here. So it's different. Unfortunately, it does result in the inability of us to match certain municipalities' pay, but we're becoming more competitive. And this is a very dynamic place to work, a place where a police officer in Detroit within 1 month will have experiences that it would take a year to 2 years for a police officer to gain in other municipalities within the state of Michigan. And so there's a huge upside to doing work here. And so we have people who will stay and some who just will go. And everything isn't for everybody. So I don't want to blame it all on money. Just sometimes the high pace, the op tempo here just isn't supportive or conducive to a lifestyle or a family lifestyle for other officers. So we work very hard to make sure that we have a place where people want to work, live, play, and raise their families, as well as is competitive financially. And so we're working on it, and we'll grow back to a point where we can keep our officers, and maybe you'll see officers coming back to the city of Detroit from other municipalities. And you see that anyway. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. I won't take up that much time. That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Birch. Pastor Griffin?
Thank you to Councilman Benson.
Hey, Pastor.
How are you?
Good evening.
Hey, look, I need to know, what are the plans? How do you find out what the plans are in terms of the planning department for our district, specifically for Conant Garden, specifically for Cranswood? How do we find out what the plans are, and how do we provide our input into the plans? I've been asking this for a couple of years, and I'm still asking.
Okay, great question.
Do?
So great question. Community plans are, and this is, you're asking me to speak on the activities and operations of the planning department, of which I don't have control, but we do have oversight through different committees at the city council. So working with our newest planner, right, this Saturday coming up, there's actually a ribbon cutting for the Meade cut through in the East Davison Village neighborhood of the 3rd District. And so that came from the East Davison Village, Banglatown, Joseph Campo plan that was planned there about 3 years ago. And so now one of the community asks was a cut through for Meade, and it's going to be completed, and the ribbon cutting is this weekend. You're seeing a plan, the G7, the Gratiot 7 Mile plan is going on right now. And so as the city, more time passes, you'll see more and more community plans. And so I'm not certain specifically what the plans are in store for Conant Gardens or for anywhere else within 3rd District besides those 2 plans right now. But as we continue on, and as the city grows its population, and as more time passes and we finish plans, we're going to different areas of the city. And so we'll see more in the city of Detroit. And if Conant Gardens is where you'd like to see the next plan, then let my office know, and also let your district manager know so that she can pass that on to the planning department as well. I'm sure they would love to hear about different areas within the city and the 3rd District specifically that I really care about. Will be interested in having a planning study done.
Well, that's been mentioned before. However, somehow it's not happening. And every time we hear about plans, it's everywhere else, but a few areas within our district. So I'm just trying to figure out, how do we do it? Because I've been asking. So, and I'm looking at you. Now, I'm not asking you to speak from the planning perspective. I'm asking you to speak from our district in terms of how are they prioritized? I'm thinking that you might know more than I do, of course, about what's happening in our district. So that's why I'm speaking to you about it.
Okay, so what I can say is that every time you do a plan one place, you upset everybody else who didn't have a plan there. So it's a catch-22 in that situation. But we continue to move throughout the city of Detroit and implement additional plans. And so the planning department sets the priorities. That strategically they do confer with the city council member of that district as well as the at-large. And it's really about where you find the initiative, where you find the support and which neighborhoods are asking for this type of the study. And so if you're really interested in having one done in your community and neighborhood, please let your district manager know and the planning department know and myself, let us know. But also remember,
okay,
every plan that gets done, what you're going to do is have 10 other people who are disappointed that their neighborhood wasn't done. But what we're not going to do is stop doing plans because we can't please everybody all the time. But as time goes on, you will see more and more communities who will have planning studies done in their communities.
Well, I've asked for that several times, and we've been disappointed for 30 years. So I just need to know what we need to do. And I want to thank MPO Nichols. He's been there for us. Thank you. Okay, so I'll try to contact you all again.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Councilman?
I think I saw Dr. Dudley's hand.
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to say publicly, thank you. We received our NOF grant, Neighborhood Opportunity Funds grant. And I know you've always been a real support and you've always been there when we needed you. So, you know, publicly within our community, in our district, thank you.
Oh, and Dr. Dudley and Madam President, want to say one item. So we just moved out of committee the marijuana, the adult use marijuana ordinance. Now, and Dr. Dudley is not cheering because she's happy about adult use marijuana. What she is happy about is that as a direct result of my advocacy and her support, I was able to get included in that ordinance. A 2% of gross revenues will go towards substance abuse prevention programs for the youth in the city of Detroit. And so for me, I'm not a big supporter of that industry, but I said, if we are going to go to a situation where we have adult use marijuana throughout the city of Detroit, we need to have substance abuse prevention programs. I want to make sure that we're targeting the youth. And so as a direct result of negotiations, there is in this ordinance, 2% of gross tax revenues from adult use marijuana sales within the city of Detroit will go towards substance abuse prevention programs. So for me, that was a huge win. And I'm really glad. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Dudley for being there and having her youth who come out and made a number of the youth commission, a number of the youth who have come out and done presentations for us at city council to advocate and to say how detrimental it is to have marijuana being sold in their communities at such a high rate. And we do have a huge proliferation of marijuana uses within the 3rd district. And what it does is just really sends a message that I don't think is a proper message to our youth about the use of marijuana and other substances. So just want to let everybody know we've got 2% coming back for youth prevention programs for the city of Detroit residents and our youth.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Dudley.
Well, that's one positive. Thank you so much. Wow, great news.
So there's a silver lining in every little thing that we try to do. And although I wasn't not a big supporter of it, I figured this is a way to bring something positive to that. And we're still working on how do we stop the advertisement of marijuana on our billboards. And so we do now have an opinion, and this is what I needed, Dr. Dudley. I needed an opinion from our law department on how we think we can put that language in, because that is a First Amendment freedom of speech issue. And as you know, I mean, that's heavy. That's a big, heavy lift. But there are ways, and it's been done in the past, where if you can show that the freedom, that the speech on a sign or advertising has a direct negative impact or a deleterious impact on health, and you can limit its use. And so we're working on that. And I think we have found a way to limit the advertisement of marijuana.
Yeah, there were also one of the things that they had with Laura with regard to the signage was that if they had those signs, they needed to at least put on the signs, not for under 21 and the poison control number. So MCSSA at the state is also looking at that. And I'll send you some of the recommended legislation that they are looking to promote.
Please do. And I'm also looking to the same First Amendment language around the sale of guns. I'm not sure if anybody's noticed, I'm sure you have, that there are a number of pawn shops along 8 Mile that are advertising the sale of firearms, which to me is just completely disrespectful to our community, being that we've been hit so badly by violence and gun violence specifically. And so we're looking at how can we eliminate the advertisement of guns outdoor billboard signs. So we're working on that as well. And that's also a freedom of speech issue. And the law department just told me today that's going to take a few more months for them to come back, and we're waiting for a Supreme Court ruling on freedom of speech that'll have implications about our ability to regulate the sale of guns via billboards. And that's it for me, Madam President.
What a good report, I must say, good report, thank you.
No, thank you.
We have any other questions for Councilman? I see Pat Bosch, I see your hand up.
Yes, good evening, Councilman Benson.
Good evening.
I have several questions and I'll try to be brief, but you mentioned a minute ago about the fact that you introduced 2% of the gross receipts from marijuana would go to fund substance abuse programs for youth. But I believe that the ordinance gives a choice, that the good neighbor policy would allow some proceeds from the marijuana operations to benefit neighborhood block clubs and nonprofits, and or the option would be to to fund the substance abuse programs. And as somebody once said, if marijuana is so friendly, why do we have to fund substance abuse programs? Because most people believe it's a gateway drug. So do you want to comment about the good neighbor policy and this option of the proceeds going to fund CREO for these substance abuse policies? And I have two more questions.
Okay, so I want to be clear. This money is not going to CREO. This is not about the good neighbor program. This is a whole separate portion of the ordinance. I believe it may be the last section of the ordinance. I don't have it in front of me. But part of my support of the ordinance was a commitment. I wanted it in writing, which means it's part of the ordinance now, that 2% of the gross tax receipts, I want to make it very clear, 2% of the gross tax receipts, not 2% of net, not 2% of maybe, 2% of gross tax receipts go towards substance abuse prevention programs for the youth as a direct result of the deleterious effect of, I believe, to be marijuana. Others will say it's medicine. I believe that it's also a gateway drug, and I don't support the overabundance that we have in the 3rd District of the City of Detroit. But as a way to support our youth, I said, if we're going to have this, then let's try to make some good out of it. So this is completely separate from the Good Neighbor program. I can speak to the Good Neighbor program as well, which is a part of the ordinance that indicates that a adult use marijuana facility will work with the community group and give, I think it's 0.25% of gross receipts to that organization, or they can also give it to a fund that's approved by the City of Detroit. And so there are different ways they can give back a part of that Good Neighbor program, that they will give 0.25, I think it's 0.25% of gross sales to either that fund or a community organization. It has nothing to do with the 2% of gross receipts, tax receipts, that go to the City of Detroit from the sale of marijuana.
So was that an amendment that you made at yesterday's hearing?
No, ma'am, that is part of the ordinance.
Oh,
it's not an amendment. That's in the ordinance.
I'll take you offline to, when it's offline, I'll ask for more explicit page number.
If you look at the ordinance, if you have the ordinance, look at the last section of the ordinance. It's right there.
I did.
The last section.
But my other questions have to do with issues that affect our district. And on yesterday's council agenda, well, no, that was today, wasn't it? Today is Tuesday. Okay, 7.6 repairs was resolution to repair 14 firehouses. Are any of those 14 firehouses in District 3? Because we have some that are closed.
I do not have the list in front of me, so I can't say yes or no on that.
Okay, well, I can work with your office on that. And would you please comment about item 9.3 on today's agenda? It was funding $3,341,105.05 for the Mount Elliott project. Could you define exactly what the Mount Elliott project is and what geographic area it covers?
So you'll have to forgive me. I don't have the agenda in front of me. And if I had known that there would be an agenda quiz, I would have brought my agenda with me today, this evening. But no, more than happy, call the office tomorrow, or Terry will give you a call and we can explain all that to you. And if anybody else has any questions or issues about it, we can make sure we bring a report on these questions next month to the next meeting.
And one more question. You were instrumental in allowing some acreage from the Connor Playfield to be used for excessive parking for what was originally the North Point warehouse at the right near the Connor Playfield. And we've been waiting for your office to provide a landscape plan of how that use of the playfield would then ultimately look. We still haven't seen a plan.
So I'm glad that you're waiting for my office, but plans of that nature do not come from my office. Those type of plans come from the administration, who actually monitor and manage the process once City Council approves. And as a direct result of your advocacy, that we reduce the zoning at that location, that I supported that, and to make sure that we brought those 400 jobs to the 3rd District, and we took care of that blighted eyesore. And yes, part of that, to ensure that truck traffic did not go through the park, we took a piece of the Connor Playfield on the south side, and we added additional space from the property owner to the north side of Connor Playfield. So there was a swap of land there. We also wanted to ensure that trucks did not go through the middle of that park, and that they only entered from Gratiot and from the Connor area as well. So yeah, I'm more than happy to help you get those drawings, but those do come from the administration and not from my office. And those are the type of questions that we'll work with PDD as well as the Jets and DEGC to get you a copy of any landscape plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. We really appreciate all the information you provided tonight. So thanks a million. Appreciate you.
Ms. Jack, it is always an honor and a privilege. I just really am pleased to be able to come before you all and give these updates, tell you what we're doing in the city of Detroit to help improve our quality of life. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Ms. Hilton, do you have any news to bring from us from Mr. Sabri? How are you this evening?
I'm well, thank you. I have great news to bring. I'm really excited to know that the Wayne County Treasurer has extended the payment arrangement date from March 14th to March 31st. That's major. So for all of those folks that might be going into foreclosure, you have an opportunity to get into the treasurer's office and make a payment arrangement to keep your property from going into foreclosure. And I see so many of our community partners on this call, and we thank you, Dr. Griffin. We thank what you're doing. And Councilman Benson, awesome, awesome, awesome. This new council, we went before the council, presented, the treasurer did, and they have been going door to door ever since. So as you know, we've been coming on the call for almost 2 years talking about this date that's coming up, March 31st, the final date for you to redeem your property, get into a payment plan. Another reason I'm excited tonight, there's a new program. I don't know if you all have heard about it. It's called the My Half program. And that's the Michigan Homeowners Assistance Fund. I put all of this information in the chat, the flyer with their frequently asked question sheet also. But the greatest thing about this is $25,000, up to $25,000 per household. The income is phenomenal. You know, in the past, we've always not qualified for programs because we always exceeded the income guideline. So two in a household can make up to $90,000 to $92,000. So that's major. The eligibility guidelines is that you must be the homeowner. And that is before January 21, 2020, you had to own the property and you need to be living there. And another great thing is all the different ways of eligibility. This fund grant will pay for internet broadband services if you're behind, utilities, gas, electric, water, sewage, homeowners insurance, hazard, flood, mortgage insurance, condominium and homeowners association, property taxes. That's what we're most interested in. Of course, keep people in their homes. Delinquent land contract payments, mobile home loan payments, and for the lot, if it's delinquent, up to 3 consecutive monthly mortgage payments, and delinquent mortgage and housing expenses. This is the first time that I've ever seen any programs of this magnitude with the dollar amount. And as far as qualifying, this is a great program. So if anyone applies for this program, they will send us the information to the Wayne County Treasurer's Office, and we will take you off the foreclosure list. So all of the information in the chat will give you what you need to apply for the program. I think I have it in here. You can reach out to a Wayne County Treasurer's Office also, and that's Wayne County Treasurer, .waynecounty.com. You can also call us at 224-5990. You can reach us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com also. Those are all the different ways. It's all in the chat for you to reach out to us. And you can even, if you need help in completing your application, you can call 211, or you can reach out to Wayne Metro. And Wayne Metro's number is 313-388-9799. As I said, it's in the chat. So please, if you know anyone that's in trouble, we have community groups that are walking and knocking on doors. We have contractors that are calling. We're trying to do everything that we can. We're on the radio, TV, commercials, whatever means of communication, we're trying to do it. But you know who knows the community better? You do. And that's why we thank each and every one of you all for reaching out to your community groups, your neighbors, your friends, and your family members. I always call foreclosure Detroit's best kept secret, because our folks are embarrassed, don't want people to know they're in trouble, and they wait too late. We can't afford to wait too late this time, because Mr. Sabri has been mandated to foreclose. We didn't foreclose for 2 seasons, but we have to foreclose this year. The deadline date is March 31st. You can get into your arrangements. That's a great thing. So please reach out. We're having an Ask the Treasurer every Wednesday of this month, and the treasurer's on the call, all the staff. I put the information in the chat. You can go on our website to get it. And we are taking calls. We have over 200 people sometimes on the call. You can put your information in the chat. We get back with you. If you haven't been able to reach us, if you haven't been able to make an appointment, then you can do it at that Ask the Treasurer. And we're open on Saturdays, every Saturday for the month of March, our regular business hours. You can make an appointment to come in. So we're doing everything that's necessary to reach out to all of the folks. And there's about over 4,000 people, occupied taxpayers that live in their homes, that are in trouble. And we need for people to reach out to us. So if you know of anyone, please send them our way. I put my personal cell phone in the chat, my email address. We're here to serve and to help you make sure that nobody loses their property. So thank you all so much for this time.
I see a hand up. I see Ken Davis. You have a question for Beverly Hilton?
Yes, I wanted to know, is Wayne County open for in-person visits?
Yes, sir. We're open Monday through Saturday for the month of March, but we ask that you make an appointment, and you also will need to wear a mask. Yes, sir, we are open. And if you are having trouble making an appointment, you can certainly call me and I'll help you walk through that process. You can go into our website to do that, and that's treasure.waynecounty.com to make an appointment as well.
Okay, thank you. Is your number in the chat?
Yep, it's 313. You have a pencil? And it's in the chat as well. It's 313-282-3355. Will my voicemail be full? Yes. Is it going to be full probably every time you call? Yes. But if you call me, your number will register and I'm going to call you back. And I also put my email in the chat. And if you get on the Ask the Treasurer call, we usually will answer your questions right then, or we will follow up with you the next day until everyone that asked the question has been resolved, or put into a payment plan, whatever is necessary to keep you out of foreclosure. And don't forget the City of Detroit's HOPE program. That's a property tax exemption program as well. And if you are a landlord and your tenants haven't been paying, so you don't have the money to pay your taxes, you can certainly go online, complete our hardship application. And if your tenants are waiting on the SIRA dollars to come through, let us know. All you have to do is let us know. If you show us the documentation that your tenants are in the program, we'll pull your property out of foreclosure. So that's all you need to do is communicate with us, let us know what your hardship is, get into a payment plan, apply for these two programs, and your property will be pulled from foreclosure. We don't want anyone to lose their property. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beverly. You always give great information. Thank you so much for that.
And thank you for all that you all do. And I have 2 other calls. I've got to get off and get on these calls so we can talk about this money. I want everybody to take advantage of that $25,000. Thank you if they qualify.
Absolutely. Thanks again. And hopefully we'll be hearing from you again next month with some more good news. See Lionel Williams from DPSC. How are you this evening?
It's always wonderful to be on, Ms. Jackson. It seems like it's been a long time since the last meeting, so I'm excited to be on today. Greeting from Dr. Vitti and Detroit Public Schools Community District Office. We still have our mask mandate, so we still be wearing masks, all students, all employees. We will revisit the mask mandate later in the school year. But we feel like right now, to keep everybody safe, we are still going to wear our masks. We have a $700 million facility master plan that we are going around to the community right now to get this approved by the school board. And through this master plan, we will do renovations to all the schools that we have in our district. And some schools will get new school buildings. Those schools that receive new school buildings will be Cody High School, Paul Roberson, Karsten's Academy will be rebuilt on Golightly, on Jefferson and Dickerson. And the last school that will get a new school will be Pershing High School. And we know that this is well overdue. A lot of people in this district have been asking about a new school for Pershing, about swimming pools. So it will keep the same name if this plan is approved. And we will have a community meeting Monday, March 14th, between 6 to 8 p.m. at Pershing. So I'm encouraging all those and you can tell other community members that are in agreement with Pershing getting a new building to come out. Once again, that's Monday, March 14th. We'll be at Detroit Pershing. Dr. Vitti will be there. And I will be there, my team, the government community affairs. They'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. And in May 20th to 22nd, we're doing a gala, Hall of Fame gala for all the DPS alumni. So it's a whole weekend of meet and greets, award ceremonies. The big dinner will be at the Huntington Place downtown. So I'll put all the information for our website in the chat, and I'll put my contact number in the chat. If you want to get more information about the gala, if you want more information about Pershing, and then I will put the text on how you can receive weekly text messages. So it's looking very good for Pershing to receive a new school. I know the commander says she was a Pershing graduate. So I look forward, to everybody coming out Monday and helping to support this initiative.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great news. Wow. That's a nice amount of schools. So, and I know they're long overdue. So yeah, really great news. Thank you so much, Lionel. Appreciate your updates as always.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I see our president of Citywide, Mr. Stokes. I don't know if he's still on, if he had any updates to provide. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam President. Just to say hello to Commander Pritchett, Captain Johnson. It's so good to see you again, Ms. Pritchett, Commander. Great job over there, Madam President. I just want everybody to know, my name is Alvin Stokes. I am the President of Citywide Citizens Police Community Relations. So if there's anything we can do as far as citywide, feel free to reach out to us. The President can reach out, and I invite all the NPOs to our meeting citywide. We would love to have your input because it's called Citizens Police Community Relations. So we look forward to working with y'all. And like I said, anything we can do, feel free to reach out. Welcome again, Commander.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stokes. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Mr. Stokes, and thank you for everything as usual.
Madam President,
Yes.
this is Miss McCants.
Ms. McCants, how are you this evening?
I'm doing just fine, and you?
I'm good, ma'am.
I would
What
like
you
to
got going
say,
on?
pardon me?
What do you have going on?
Okay. I would like to say, welcome, Commander Pritchett. I have been, I've had opportunity to say hello to you. The next thing is the Detroit Police Citizen Academy will be accepting applications for a new class. So if there's anyone that is listening that is interested in joining the Detroit Police Citizen Academy Alumni Association, I would you could pick your applications up from the station, and you can either fill it out there, or you could go online and fill it out. We're looking for some we haven't set the class because we're trying to accept the applications in. So far, we're waiting on applicants to come in to determine the date that the class will start. It will be once a week, mostly I think on a Tuesday. And it's for once a week for 6 to 8 weeks. So if anyone is interested, you can contact the NPOs, and I will make sure that they have the applicants there on site. And one more thing that do we, I don't know if Benson is still on. Have you, President, received a listing of these marijuana grow places? Because it just seems like, for whatever reason, right now, I am being targeted with these grow facilities. And now they was in the back of my house tearing up. Now they in front of my house tearing up.
Oh,
So
Councilman, I'm quite sure I see Councilman on there, and I see Councilman, I'm quite sure you probably know locations of the marijuana spots. So I don't know, maybe you can work with Ms. McCants to find out what's going on. Okay.
We're on it. We had a conversation today during public comment with Ms. McCants. Yes, ma'am. And Terry should have had a phone call to her as well today.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that information. Ms. Birch, I haven't forgot about you. I know you wanted to talk about the noise ordinance, but I do want to get to Dr. Dudley because she does have some information she would like to share with us. So I'm going to let her take the floor now. Dr. Dudley, it's your floor.
Oh, wow. Thank you. What an awesome meeting. Welcome, Commander Pritchett. I look forward to working with you. I have such an incredible relationship with your MPOs and just love them to death. I just wanted to give you a brief update of what we've been doing just in our district that I'm so excited about, and working with Councilman Benson, our NOF, and also this marijuana issues as it impact our youth. As you may know, I am the chair of the Love Detroit Prevention Coalition, and what we're looking at are engaging what we call 12 sectors to help us work with kids in our community. Just sort of to report out on what's been going on, we were able to take about 12 representatives from our 3 zip codes, but primarily, I guess, in our 4-H 48234 zip code, to Washington, D.C., to what's called CADCA conference. And we were able to take off MPO Malone and Robinson with us. And it was just an incredible experience to look at what's going on across the country with regard to substance use prevention. And I'm sure, they can sort of share what they learned and the kinds of impact that they got from going with us there. But we came back excited. We're working to do our youth summit on mental health youth summit, and got a lot of good ideas about what to bring back. So thank you, MPO Malone and MPO Robinson. The other thing is that we have, because of MPO Robinson, we were able to meet with all of the pastors, or we had sent an invitation to all of the pastors in our 11th precinct, in our precinct area. And I think we're probably about 10 of them were able to join us. We had 2 sessions. And what we provided with the pastors were what we talked about were the 7 strategies for community change. But we also gave them information, and I did forward it to all of the pastors that we had contact information for in our area, on why we see that if a youth is connected to a faith-based institution, regardless of the denomination or the religion, etc., if they're connected to it, they're less likely to be involved in drugs and violence. And so my pastors asked me to make sure that I could send them the data that supported that, and I was able to do that. So they're going to be working with us to look at ways in which we can help prevent substance use prevention. One of the things we have done is Narcan training, and we've offered all of our churches, and some of them are taking us up on that, to do the Narcan training. Our data is showing us that the overdoses and deaths from heroin, fentanyl, and opioids are occurring among African-American males. And so we're doing a concerted effort to make sure that we can do Narcan training for anyone who asks, as long as they're 14 and up. Now, I don't know if you know, but we have been really excited about one of our explorers that we did Narcan training for, who after the training talked her mother through how to save a life of 2 people who had overdosed in front of their mother's house. And as a result of that, we were featured on channel 2, 4, and 7 locally. And we got word that we will be featured on ABC Nightline. Is it Nightline? Is ABC National News. Now they're planning to come out. We don't know exactly when. They were supposed to come out for the 9th, but because of the war, we got sort of bumped. But they're going to come out, and we asked that they come and they will film us right there at the 11th precinct with our explorers and with, our young people who are stepping up and just really making a difference. And Mr. Williams, this young lady, also goes to Pershing. So if you tear that building down, you make sure you build it right back here in our area. I ain't playing with you. All right. So a shout out to our pastors. One of the big things that's coming up, I was called by the DEA because they're obviously fentanyl and overdoses and deaths are scary, and they're impacting all of us. The DEA has a campaign for One Pill Can Kill. And so one of the ways in which we're trying to help address that is through our DEA Take Back. As you know, because of COVID, we had not been able to, all of our DEA Take Backs have to be staffed by sworn police officers. And so what we did do was we were able to expand it. I met with Sergeant Kelsey, and we were able to expand it beyond the precinct and also to the community. And each precinct can select a senior center and a senior center and a faith-based center to host a DEA Take Back. And so in talking with Sergeant Spruce, we may be able to do more than just 1 or 2 of them in our area. This is so critical and important. Our goal is to get back across the city of Detroit throughout all of our precincts, 600 pounds of pills. We're talking pills now. We did almost 500 pounds in April of last year. We want to do 600 pounds this year. So by expanding those sites, we're going from 11 sites in the city of Detroit to 35 sites in the city. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about the sort of support we're getting, all of the support we're getting from our MPOs. But we need our community to step up and to also to get engaged with that. We do Narcan training for all of our police officers. We had a a long informal meeting with Captain Johnson, and Captain Johnson, you said we should have a scan code for if a police officer's needed to replace. We got it, so we have a code where if an officer has to replace his Narcan because they used it, they can scan the code. We will definitely replace it, but it also it'll take them to where they can fill out the information for how they saved a life. One of the challenges is that we have real-time data from HIDA and from University of Michigan can tell us where overdoses are taking place in the city by zip code, by age, by gender, by race, etc. That information only comes from EMS and it comes from the ME. So we know our officers are saving lives, but we don't have the data to show that. And Captain Johnson is going to work with us to see that we can get that data so that we can then highlight the fact that after having trained these officers, after having been able to replace any Narcan that they use and any that is expired, we then will be able to say, look, our folks are saving lives, our officers are saving lives. And so he's going to help us to make sure that we get that data. And Commander Pritchett, it sounds like you are that data person. So you and I get really thrilled when we talk about data. So we are looking for community members, for parents, for all of you to get engaged, to say, what are we going to be doing about substance use prevention? And that's why we have been talking, our kids are going to be doing environmental scans. There are still marijuana dispensaries that are popping up in our communities. There's marijuana that looks like candy that our kids are getting a hold of and may be ingesting. And so we're going to be looking at ways in which we can help address that, but we need everyone in our community to help us to do so. So we also are going to be reaching out to the businesses in the community to do the same. Mr. Williams, we train all of the DPSCD nurses, and we can train any youth from 14 years of age and up. So we are going to be doing a concerted effort around prevention and substance use prevention, and our partnerships are just incredible. And as a result of some of the work we're doing, we are also recognized by the DEA. So if you're interested, my number is in that chat. You might have to scroll back up from where it was. And please reach out to us if you want to be part of the effort to help make sure that we reduce substance use prevention. That's marijuana, alcohol, and the non-medical use of prescription drugs in our community. So I'm open for questions.
Great information. Thank you, Dr. Dudley. Wow. Awesome news. Do we have any questions for Dr. Dudley? You pretty much covered everything from the Rudy to the Tootie. You got us good. No questions. You covered
Miss Kim.
Yes, Miss Burke.
Okay, it's not a question, it's a comment so that the commander will know how we work together in this district. Dr. Dudley and I go way back. When she spoke about the children, while she's out there saving their lives, what our organization CUP does is that we help the kids to find jobs and actually get incentives. They don't naturally get the money, but they get incentives for what they have done. So that's through Dr. Dudley and also Commander through Pershing. We have 14 students that volunteered through their teacher and the principal to volunteer at a TCF event downtown. And they were hostess and hostesses. So with Dr. Dudley, our children are painting fire hydrants within District 3.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know, I don't want to take up as much time because there's so much good going on, but I want to have a meeting with Dr. Griffin and you and myself and Marion Smith to see how we work together.
Okay.
To solve these problems. Okay, so I'm not going to bring that up, but I do have my neighbor on here, Miss Kim. She couldn't get on the line, but she would like to say something to the commander. Is that okay now, Miss Kim, for my neighbor to speak?
Yeah, let me just make sure we're good with Dr. Dudley first. Let me make sure she's
okay.
More questions, and then yes, we can.
Okay.
So do we have any other questions for Dr. Dudley before we move on? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, Ms. Birch, have her kick in.
Hello, Ruby.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, here she is. Go ahead and speak.
Okay, my name is Ruby Johnson. I live on DeQuinder. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that First of all, I have been living on DeQuinder since 61. My parents, and then now me. And I have noticed that when I was younger, I would see police patrols in the neighborhood. But now it's like, I very seldom see police officers coming around, driving around the neighborhood. And I'm wondering if we're supposed to have a neighborhood police officer. Well, I don't see him, and I'm wondering if there is a patrol in this neighborhood. Where is it? When is it?
Sergeant Spruce, can you answer her as it relates to who her neighborhood police officer is? So you and DeQuinder between what, ma'am?
Between State Fair and 7 Mile, that area. I'm on State Fair and Lance.
Depending on what side of DeQuinder she's on, it will be either NPO Robson or NPO Malone.
I think it's Robertson. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've lost track because I don't see anybody who's patrolling this.
If you call me tomorrow, my phone number is 596-1118.
Wait a minute.
596-1118. Give me a call tomorrow and I'll get your address and I'll find out who your neighborhood police officer is for you.
Okay, your number again is, sir? What's the number?
596 1118. And
you are?
I am Sergeant Spruce. SP.
Oh, Spruce.
Yes, ma'am.
You know me. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's
Thank you, Kim.
Absolutely. Just a quick reminder, Sunday, we spring forward. Don't forget. I know it's going to be easy to forget because we're going to lose an hour and I'm already tired. That's going to be a rough one. But don't forget, we spring forward this Sunday. Also, I got an email from the Wilder Branch Library that they're doing a family bingo. That is going to be on Thursday, March 17th. And that is going to be at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be via Zoom. If you don't have a way to print off the cards, they will get you bingo cards delivered to your house. So I'm going to give you the phone number for you guys to call and get this information if you like to participate. It's a family thing, so kids to get gifts. They got small, little small favors for kids, big prizes, little prizes. So it should be really, really great. The number to the library is going to be, of course, 313. That's going to be 481-1872. And you're going to ask for Mrs. M as in Mary. I spoke to her today, wonderful individual, and she's more than happy to help you. The library is still on COVID lockdown. However, you do have to wear a mask if you have to come in there, and it's a 2-hour limit that you can be in the library. And right now they have a grab and go crafts where you can pick them up for the kids. You can pick them up from the library. And the address will be 7140 East 7 Mile Road. Okay. And we also have another event coming up March the 12th and the 19th, and that's going to be at 2nd Ebenezer. And that's at 14601 DeQuinder. And it's called Only the Best for Our Children. It is from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And it should be in the chat as well. It should be in the chat. Yes. Mrs. Moore, I see your hand up.
I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. I just want to say something about Farwell Community Garden. We have an opportunity to get some money from the state, and I'm really excited about it because 2 years ago, prior to the epidemic, we had children from Firewell Recreation Center and in the community to come out and work, and we and taught them how to plant a garden, harvest the garden, and eventually sell something at the Eastern Market. And the money, the proceeds will go in their pockets. But what we're doing, I understand we have a nice sizable grant from the state, and I'm really excited about it. And we're going to concentrate solely on that garden. I don't want to say how much it is because I really don't know until I get the money in my hand. And until we do that, and if we don't get it, we are still going to continue to run that garden at Farwell Recreation Center, right there on the corner of Finlawn and 8 Mile. And we're asking for everybody's support. We're asking for all kinds of help. And we used to we had a grant from the Motown Mission, which people came from all over the country to help us with the garden. And from what I understand, because they're going to do it again, and I'm just praying that we might have the opportunity to get that, and they will help us out.
All right, appreciate it. And I see, oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Appreciate that so much. That garden is, I'll go past that garden. When I go past there, it's incredible. So
yeah, it is. It really is.
Fabulous job.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much for always doing that every year.
Oh yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Madam President, what was the date on that bingo again?
That bingo is gonna be for the 17th. It's on a Thursday at 6:30.
The 17th at 6:30.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, Ms. Bosch.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks to Scott Benson, Councilman. He did put in the chat the language related to the 2% of the gross proceeds going to the health department for substance abuse programs. That's in the newest adult use marijuana ordinance. And he also put a reference to the Mount Elliott project. We still don't know exactly what geographic area the Mount Elliott project covers, but he did make that information available on the chat. And I just wanted to bring people's attention to that. I have 2 locations that were referred to Police Officer Eric Hill. They were illegal dumping locations, one on Van Dyke, whereby one of the business people was able to take a video of the dumpers when they were dumping. And also a neighbor on Stotter, Stotter Street, was able to video another illegal dumping that occurred on vacant lots. So I recognize the meeting is long, but I wondered if Police Officer Eric Hill was available to give us an update on how those complaints are being processed.
Well, I don't know if he's still here, Pat. I can go check and see if he's still here. Hey, D, is Hill still here?
Yeah, he stepped out. He's on a call right now, so he'll be right back in.
Well, it's okay, because when the mayor came to Solomon's Temple a couple weeks ago, I did get the phone number to a superior officer, but I haven't followed through on that. I wanted to first work with Officer Hill. So thank you very much. If he doesn't return when the meeting is over, I'll call him tomorrow. Thank you.
Officer here is right here.
Oh, okay, good. Ms. Jackson, do we have, through the chair, do we have time for Mr. Police Officer Hill to give us a update on those 2 complaints?
Sure, he can provide an update if he has one. Officer Hill, if you have an update, if you can provide that, that'd be great.
Sure. I had talked to BC. They didn't write a ticket. They just gave far as a notice. And I talked to Ms. Session also. So there was no enforcement taken on that. And we're dealing with that property that's next door. So nothing came upon you all as far as enforcement, but the building next door, the place next door, it is being investigated and handled with inspection from the city.
We're talking about the residential property on Stotter, is that it?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, because they've continued to dump on the berm of that vacant lot adjacent to their property, and that's just very infuriating. And it's nice that you gave people a warning, but the commercial property on Van Dyke seems like it's one of those ownerships that's in limbo where we can't track who the owner is.
Well, if you're talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, you didn't.
If you're talking about Van Dyke, over there where they had a semi truck and the boat, I just went over there and we issued orders on the semi trailers, the truck, as well as the boat. The owner of that boat lives on that block 2 blocks over. I already addressed and dealt with him.
Okay.
When I talked about when we're going to tow it right now with some of the tow, they were having issues with boats. So that was addressed, but still tickets were given to that semi truck as well as that boat. And I made contact with the owner of the boat. And the boat is not abandoned. It's actually registered and it is a functional boat. It's on a trailer as well. But that city property and that property over there, it can't be where everybody can put trucks and trailers there. So that has been addressed and enforcement has been enforced over there.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Honorable Sean Perkins, I see your hand up. Good evening, sir, and how are you?
Good evening, President Jackson. I appreciate you having me, and I just briefly wanted to introduce myself. I told you at the last time I was at your meeting, I was committed to the District 11 and city Detroit as a whole, and I wanted to make sure I made it to every meeting. I won't take up too much time, but my name is Judge Sean B. Perkins. My mantra is I bring the court to the community. I just want to let everybody know that I'm the traffic court judge and I handle the last names G, L, or O. So if anybody has or knows anybody that needs to get a driver's license, has any warrants out, has any outstanding tickets or anything like that, I want to let them know. I put my information in the chat that they can zoom into my court anytime, and we will pull their file and we'll get their issue resolved. We'll get them an offer that's fair and reasonable. I also want to know that people are dealing with tough times now. Money is tight. What I've done is I've started to allow anybody that can that wants to get their matters paid off through community service. I'll pay them $20 an hour toward every hours of community service, and they can do all or part. And but it has to go through our community service coordinator, Ms. Green. But I'm finding that a lot of people are taking advantage of that now. They're going out in the community, cleaning up, doing things for the churches and the nonprofit organizations, and it's becoming infectious for them. They're not only selfishly, helping themselves out with getting their tickets paid off, but they're also helping out the community in that regard. And it seems to help, in my opinion, help the recidivism rate. People are doing those things, and some people have never done community service before, and they're really enjoying that and getting a lot of gratitude out of it. So I won't take up any more time. I did put my information in the chat, and just please let everybody know that we are there and we're trying to get everybody involved. We can help you if you come into the court. If you don't come in, we can't do anything, but we can help if you come into the court. So thanks a lot, President Jackson, and I'll definitely be at the next meeting.
Absolutely, and we thank you so much. I always love to have you with us, and Mr. Martin, we love to have you too. I know Chief Judge McConicle, he ran the show today, which is awesome. So, but
Absolutely.
You're always welcome, and anything you need from us, we're here to help you.
I appreciate you so much.
Okay, and
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem at all. Ms. Birch, I know you wanted to talk about the noise ordinance. I know it's after 8 o'clock, but you and we're going to talk with the NPOs. We're going to talk about that because I know they have to get ready to get out of here. And
Yes, Kim. That's fine.
Okay, and I'm always
that's fine. The only thing, Kim, may I say that announce this because it's in the month of April. April 14th, the 8 Mile Boulevard is having a luncheon at the Huntington Place now. They don't call it TCF. Huntington Place downtown. This is about 8 Mile strip and outer drive that we're coming together to build up that area. So I would sure like for you to come. I could make you a guest if you could come to see what we're doing with the 8 Mile strip that affects the Detroit side.
Okay, what's the date again?
The date is April 14th. The time is from, the time 11 to 2. 11 to 2. I'll send you the information by email.
Okay, please do.
But thank you for that. Everybody's invited to come.
Okay, thank you so much. And I put that down, but I'll wait for you to
email you
information as well. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. And we'll work on that ordinance like you said.
Yes, we will. Okay. And then also, there was 5 party stores, and I'm going to give you guys update on that next month. I know we're skating on time here. So I will make sure, and like I said, there's 5 addresses we've been working on. And I just want to thank Councilman so much because he's been such a big help with making sure that we have our quarterly meetings or whenever we can all get together. I know BC and those guys are so swamped, but they always make time to handle these complaints that are coming into these different gas stations and party stores. So thanks a million for all your help, but I will provide you guys an update next month on that, just so that you'll know what's going on in the district.
Gotcha.
We're skating time, so
sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You guys have a great evening. Everybody have a blessed evening until we all meet again. And thank you each and every one of you for always being there. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.